And I didn't think I would be, but I'm actually feeling a little bit nervous, a little bit vulnerable, because I left my bag on that table there and you guys look pretty dodgy. So, I asked my friends and family for a bit of advice, coming up, and it turns out everyone I work with is actually an expert on comedy, which was really handy. But that was fun. So my mum's advice, which was pretty good advice, she said, look, you got to come up with some stock standard jokes, write them on a list, and if you forget where you're up to or else fails, you got that. So let's get a little taste of those ones. Alright, so why can't a bicycle stand on its own? Because it's too tired. You guys are awesome. You're awesome. So I asked my dad for some advice. He gave me some pretty good advice. He said, look, you got to come up with some comebacks in case things get a bit nasty. And I sat down, I tried to think of something, but I found it really hard because I've actually been the victim of probably the greatest comeback of all time. I'm a school teacher and I was on playground duty one day. I'm going to need a little helper. Can you hear me? Come on. Can you hear some of it? Can you get sexier? This big, little blonde hair, Harry Potter glasses. And he comes up to me and says, hey, how's it going? Oh, it's done. Now, luckily, when I'm up against 7-year-olds, pretty quick-witted. So I came straight back with, come on, Jack, give me 5. Give me 5. On the side. Yeah, down low. Oh, too slow. You know what was going on. And he looked at me for a second. I seemed a little bit dazed. Never been stung so bad before in his life. And he looked at me. And then suddenly I saw. And he proceeded to bestow upon me the most brutal, cutting retort I've ever heard. And not only that, I tried to take the advice I give my kids and just walk away, and he followed me. It was really hard. He comes back from suspension. What was that? You wanted another mum joke? So, this guy walks into a bar with a crocodile. The barman says, did you come bring crocodile in here? He says, no, it's a tame crocodile. Watch. And he says the crocodile opens. And the crocodile opens his mouth and the guy unzips, gets his business out, puts it in the crocodile's mouth. Crocodile doesn't do anything. The guy's just standing there. See? Tame crocodile. And he takes it out, zips up, close, little crocodile. Closes his mouth. And says, did he do that for anyone? Anyone here want to have a go? Anyone want to have a go? And the guy down the end of the bar says, I'll give it a go, but I don't think I can leave my mouth open for that long. But my mum, she actually was the one that got me into teaching. She's given me some pretty good advice over the years. Usual stuff, never lick a gift horse in the mouth, if you're gonna... You're more like me now. If you're gonna say something nasty about someone, you walk them all in their shoes first, because then you're a mile away and they're barefoot. And actually, this advice is really good advice, especially if there's any parents or teachers of small kids out there. This, you come home from school and kids have been back chatting and arguing and really gets you down. And my mum always used to say to me, you remember, it takes 42 muscles in your face to frown. And it's true, but it only takes 4 muscles to bitch slap them upside the head. My mum, she got me into teaching, but I was actually going to be a professional basketball player.
I'll be considered about your mother calls you.
I didn't hear that. Oh, it was nice.
Leave her out of it.
Yeah, but I was going to be a professional basketball player, and I know you guys are thinking it was the height that I didn't make it. The height was fine. It turned out I wasn't any good. So, but I only ever played one game, so it was a bit unfair to judge on that. Well, when I say game, we're just sort of 3-on-3 in the backyard. Well, not 3-on-3, 1-on-1 with my sister. Sometimes she went there, I just sort of practiced throwing up again. Well, we didn't have a hoop, I just sort of throwed it up against the arrow. Well, I kind of just, throw it to myself about 3 or 4 times. I'm pretty good. So, another mum joke in here? Yeah, no, I didn't need this. I know where I was. So, I was going to be a basketball player, became a teacher, and I used to be really indecisive, but now I'm just not so sure. And how I, sort of deal with my indecision, I use a pretty standard method, rock, paper, scissors. And it comes in, this one's for you, Eric. It comes in pretty handy when you're a teacher. Kids always want you to solve their problems and sort out what you want to do. And, if you're on playground duty and 2 kids are fighting and it's hard to tell a winner, they've both got blood noses and it's like 5 minutes till lunch and you're just like, rock, paper, scissors, you win. But I've got a pretty major gripe with rock, paper, scissors. See, I get how scissors beats paper. Snip, snip, snip. You go to use your paper, it's in little pieces, you can't write on it. You get like 3 letters, that's it. And I get how rock beats scissors, Smoosh, 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 smoosh. You pick your scissors up, they're blunt, the handle's hanging off. Scissors totally beat. Rock, paper is somehow meant to beat rock. No structural damage to rock. Rock could just rip on out of it. But somehow, paper magically immobilizes it. Now my question is, if paper can do this to rock, what the hell does it do it to scissors? Screw that. Why don't paper do it to people? Schools and universities everywhere, kids opening their books to take notes and paper's just jumping out and suffocating them. I'll tell you why, because paper can't do shit. Rock could tear that up into seconds.